On the road.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Should I do
Anything
the?
else?
Should I?
Opening?
I Austin should always do it. It's like
All right. I'll
tradition.
introduce. Sure, that's fine.
It's
Are you
tradition.
ready, Con?
I'm gearing to go.
Yeah, don't do it yet.
Okay.
Con still has to fix his hair.
Hey, welcome to the cup. Okay.
All right. Go for it. Get
We're good.
fixed. Yep, I'm pretty.
Hey guys, welcome to the last week special podcast. Once again, I am Austin, and we have Con,
I am here.
and we have Jed.
Hey!
Just recovering from crashing on his PC.
Mm.
We're in the post-mortem stage now.
Trying to figure out what the issue is.
Yep. Now that we
We're not!
finally got all his internet issues sorted, the
There's
computer
that.
is deciding to crap itself.
It's a beautiful thing called a rain cloud, and it seems to follow me around.
Do you remember when you first built your PC?
Mm-hmm.
You had graphical artifacting on Fear.
Oh, yeah. I
And
still
then
remember, like, the weirdness
Con,
of it.
yeah, Con had you send it back. He told you to send it back. You got it back, and same thing, graphical artifacts. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that happened. I don't remember, like two, maybe three times. It kept you send it, get repaired, they
Mm.
send it back.
Mm.
I don't know. Did you end up getting a new card? I don't remember. Did you just like get it
Yeah,
fixed
like I
right away?
ended up refunding card
Yeah.
and then just getting a different brand because I guess that particular card suddenly they just had like manufacturing issues with them or something. So and it was sad too because that card was red, like like most graphics cards, the circuitry's black now, the circuit board.
Mm-hmm.
But even before then, they were either brown or green,
Right.
just the generic palettes. So this one was red and had like a real pretty lady on it, and you're like, ooh.
Just goes to
And then,
show, looks don't matter.
Yep.
well, I mean, they kind of do.
Unless it's a woman, of course. Yeah.
All
Well,
women are beautiful.
I'd say beauty's only skin deep, but ugly goes all the way to the bone. So, he was picking.
His bone is all watered and.
Like, holy crap, how'd you get it in there?
Jed's married though,
But
so
to fill you guys in.
he doesn't need to look at
Yes,
people.
correct. Uh, to fill you guys in with my PC issues, we just got the internet situation, which is a whole story all on its own. My whole internet situation is finally coming to a happy ending. It's not great internet speed, and it's still entirely overpriced for what you are getting, but it's at least stable. I'm not
Mm.
being disconnected all the time. So while at work, I download Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2 to play with Austin and Con. Mind you, these games are huge. They're like 80 some gigs each. So it took quite a bit of time on work's high speed internet to even do.
Thank you,
Yeah.
work.
Come home excited. I come home excited. I plug in the external hard drive and I transfer them over to my gaming drive. I load up Origin. Origin's like, I see them and I want to just sync them up. I'm like, you go, Origin. I start them both up. They're working great. I'm like, beautiful. I'm ready for the weekend. Sit down today, the first day of the weekend. I got my son next to me. I want to play the game with the boats, and he's talking about World of Warships. And I said, "Do you want to play boats or you want to play the airplanes?" He's like, airplanes." So now we're going to play War Thunder. I load up War Thunder, and then the computer screen goes black. No signal. Computer, you hear nothing but the fans just revving up. You're like, oh no. I've been testing on it for hours. I've been following some articles that Con has sent me. I've been doing some suggestions that Austin's given me, and I think we have pinpointed the problem being to the graphics card. It is apparently some hardware issue. It has decided that today of all days is the one to have a mental breakdown.
Yep.
So now I'm using my onboard video, and I'm trying some potato titles to make sure that my system doesn't crash more. And if it doesn't, then we know for sure it's the dedicated
Well,
graphics card.
You still have to try with your older spare one that you have somewhere.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I do have one. I think I pulled it out of a Windows 95.
What?
I'm saying it's an old card. It's an old card.
I hope it's compatible with your current
Let me
motherboard.
have this. No, it's not the 10. It's like a 10. I might be messing this up. It's like a
Like a
1050 or
970,
something.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think you might be right. I don't think it's even this generation. I think it's the previous.
970. I think it's a 900 series. Those fit just fine in the
Yeah.
PCIe.
900 should be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, give that a
I
shot.
mean,
and we'll
it's
know
not
more.
that old. It's like 5 years, if that. But
So if that card
Still.
ends up working, it means your current card's rubbish. Feel free to send
Rubbish.
donations in and find a Jet on the internet.
Yeah, Jed, I mean, there's still some troubleshooting you can do.
Hmm.
Jiggle some wires, try different outlets,
Jiggle
etc.
the wire.
I mean, you never know.
jiggle, jiggle, jiggle,
Yeah,
jiggle.
just-
Maybe even try different plugs on the power unit if you have some extra power. Maybe even that.
Yeah.
Blow
That's
the
all.
blow the fans out. Like these
Yeah,
are all the
yeah.
stuff. This is all the stuff I was doing with my failing card a few months ago. I was like my wit's end. I bought a freaking GPU mount so it wouldn't jiggle in the flipping thing, thinking maybe it's loose and knocking around.
That's a strange option.
I was just trying everything.
Yeah.
This is a desperate man. He's
Yeah.
gonna do things that might seem obscure, but what if he's like, hey, I bought a mount for mine and it fixed it. Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bought the
why not
mount
do
for
you
like
try?
a few days. It was working. Like yes.
So good.
And
Blech.
craps out.
Throw PC in the bin.
No.
I'm sick of it. Everything's gonna be new.
So yeah, that's what's going on.
The last hurdle before we can start playing.
I know.
Until
it's
a
like
new
of all
one
days.
presents itself.
There's always another one around the corner. I mean, my
It's almost comedic, in timing.
It really is.
yeah, my internet's been fine the last few months, and just yesterday I was getting massive frame rate drops in streaming. So I hope it's just a one-off, because last time that happened, it lasted for about 6 months.
Mm.
If I ever have internet issues, I just like call.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and they just come and look at it and they go, oh, here's the problem. They fix it. It's like, okay.
Jeez, you live in an awesome internet bubble.
This internet company needs to be really good to me. They're not like some big named ones. They're just like some local. So they're just trying to please all their customers.
Local is best.
Yeah. Like when I had internet problems, they would say, okay, well, a technician can come out in 2 weeks and then he'll
Yeah.
never show. And that's what was happening for me.
Oh, it looks good. Goodbye. Oh, what? Still broken. Oh, we'll be there in
Yeah.
2 weeks. Repeat 4 months worth of that.
Yeah, there was a time they rescheduled like 3 times on me.
Yeah, that's I can't even imagine. Man, I'd be so pissed
I mean, and
off.
when you're considering like, and it's got to be 2 weeks per time, so like I'm going out with what? Oh, I'm almost like on my 2nd month now, just
waiting.
waiting for somebody to come by. Yeah,
But thankfully,
just
internet seems to be fixed now.
seems to be.
We've tested it thoroughly.
It does seem to be.
Like right now, if it
Yes.
wasn't, you'd be cutting out like proper every 20 seconds, and then disconnecting on the second minute. It was not
Yeah.
fun.
It was almost, you could dance to it,
Mm.
how it was doing.
He'd have like a little ping thing running in the background, and every now and then, like, host not found, host not found, host not found.
Yeah, I was not impressed by it.
Yep. But now we
So,
just get this working.
Yeah, have you been able to play any new games with your PC before the crashing crap? Or you've just been playing the War Thunders and the Fortnites?
That was basically it. Like, I was waiting for my internet
Nah.
to fix up because I was going to play Battlefield.
You said you tested
Yeah.
That's what I
Battlefield.
was really looking forward to.
Like,
I did
tested
test
it.
Battlefield. Yeah, like by test I mean I turned it on and it made me play the first mission.
Yeah.
And then I hit escape and then said, "Good, it works. Looking forward to playing this for real with everybody." And then that was it.
We'll get there.
I just played like 2 hours of it today, just before I got on here. Like, I had a blast.
Those new maps are just
Yes.
That's what I played the whole night of the new maps. Are so good.
they're nightmare worthy.
The ticket count was like dead even, like 12 to 12. And I had just enough points as a squad leader to drop an artillery.
Nice.
I look up, I have this clipped. I look up and I just see the whole team on one flag, and I'm like, and I freaking pull out my artillery and just drop it. I think I got like 5 kills, and it was just enough to win the game.
You know, speaking of 5 kills, when Jed and I were playing War Thunder, I dropped a bomb and killed 5
no.
tanks.
5 enemy tanks?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've been reminding
Like,
him that
alright,
every
you gotta
time.
think. When you're playing War Thunder, the maps aren't Battlefield large, but they're large.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the tanks are often never grouped together.
Never.
Right.
And Khan, just for whatever grace of luck, an angel comes down and kisses him on the mouth, and then he gets a bomber. And on top of that, none of the enemies spawned, fighter planes. So he's got a whole clear sky by himself, and then the whole enemy decide to Sesame Street derp it, and they all huddle together, drops one
Dang.
bomb with a huge smirk on his face, and I just watch it on the screen. Rollercoaster killed, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
He's like, ah, ah, ah. He's freaking out,
Just so
being
you know,
obnoxious.
that majority of the time, when I'm a bomber, I'll either get shot down, kill no one, or fluke 1. So getting 5, I was like, that's it? No one can best me ever again.
Legendary!
So yeah,
Dude,
Jed, here's
It's
it.
generally like only 12 players on a team, so he almost killed half of them in one go.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
was-
awesome.
I was pretty pro. Hope they build a statue of me on that map. I'll bomb that too, and probably miss it.
Yes, he hasn't wasted time to try and remind me every chance.
Well, Austin did say he, got 5 kills, so I'm obligated.
Perfect chance. I
What do you-
get it.
So what do you guys think of Overwatch 2? Did you see that stuff?
I like a few
I
cool
haven't.
things. I love the tech tree for each character,
Well-
make it a bit different.
Yeah, that's specifically for the co-op mode.
Mm.
The versus mode won't have any like skill trees or anything, but they're going really hard in like Left 4 Dead style co-op campaigns,
Mm.
which I'm really looking forward to because I love the characters in that game, and it fleshes out the story and the world and the characters. So there's campaigns you can play through, and they say they're highly replayable.
Give me more Diva and I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. I'm also kind of wary. I know that Blizzard's in a little bit of hot water
Oh, yeah.
with their Hong Kong support, and
Well, Activision themselves are pretty trash.
yes,
Yeah.
they're just in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The
I
game
still
will be
like
fine.
Overwatch, and I want to support good developers because I know one publisher like Activision doesn't speak
Right.
on behalf of the development team.
Yeah, that's
who's
what
doing-
I always hate that, man. When people like get pissed off at a company, they bash the game, And they don't realize there's just like these freaking developers at their desks making these games. They have no say in anything.
Mm.
They're just working their butts off on these games, and then their
Mm-hmm.
games get bashed and review bombed, and it's like, not their fault. It's the freaking higher ups.
Exactly. Tone deaf higher ups too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I understand that they probably have a lot of stakes in, different Chinese developers, especially in the mobile field, that they don't want to upset anybody. So they instead remain neutral. But like, the situation back there is still just as serious. Just, if you subtract the profit portion of, your goal out of it. But that's still corporate, just corporate anything. Turn a blind eye for money.
I'm so confused about what they're doing with this. Because it's Overwatch 2, you can purchase it, right? But if you own Overwatch, all the updates, I think, come on the first game as well. So it's bizarre to me. Because the Overwatch 2 has a new look, like, graphically. Characters are redesigned. But you'll still get all this content from 2 in 1, I think?
Maybe
Which is really weird.
You might not be able to play the new characters or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll
It's
see.
it's definitely an expansion, but it's just called Overwatch 2. Like I don't know why they're not. I guess just to get more sales, they'll call it 2. But it's just straight up like an expansion. Like really
Yeah,
weird.
it'd be dumb to bring out a brand new game and then split everyone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. You definitely don't want to do that. Are you listening, EA? With all the times you've done that?
Dude, speaking of splitting, I mean the new Call of Duty.
Oh.
I bought that game specifically because it's cross-play with everything.
Yeah, I
Those
saw
servers will never be dead because everybody shares every server. It's insane.
My friend.
But it's hilarious because me and my friends were in a squad and we played against all console players because it shows what system they're on, and it was just like ridiculous.
When I was at my friend's house watching him play, he jumped on the multiplayer to show me that it is cross-platform, because I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And he gets on, and he starts playing, and he's just getting annihilated. And I was like, "That person that killed you was a PC player. He spun instantly when he came out that doorway." And he was like, "Yep." And every time he was being destroyed, PC player, it was every time. I was starting to laugh. He goes, "I can't play this. I'm returning it."
There's an option you can actually opt out of play with other platforms, so you can filter that out.
Oh, okay. I'll have to tell him about that option, because I can see it. I honestly can see all the console players selecting that after a while.
Yeah, maybe.
But it made me laugh just watching it.
I'm impressed that they did a first-person shooter with crossplay.
It's pretty good. I mean the console players will have aim assist, so it's like they're not completely disadvantaged. So they got the aim assist. I mean, I've got my butt kicked by a few console players here and there, so it's like.
Yeah, just like of all the waters to tread to tackle the first-person genre in that manner, I mean, ballsy. Hopefully, hopefully, like you said, it works out good.
That was the number one reason. I guess both the reasons: the crossplay and there's no freaking battle passes and stupid, bull crap that you have to purchase later. So all the DLC will just come free and all that crap, which is like, yeah.
That's also kind of weird because didn't they? Like I know when Modern Warfare first came out, there was the extra maps you can purchase for it.
Yeah, that's been a thing for years. Like Battle Pass number 1, Battle Pass number 2, and it's like, shut up.
Yeah, like I think they had 3 maps that even we played back then, and then I don't recall which Call of Duty it was because it's they've had so many.
There's
but then
a lot.
like they re-released those maps, and then wanted you to rebuy them.
Right. Oh, so scummy.
I cracked up. I mean, like, yeah, they're bringing it over to a new game, but they're just the same DLC maps they charged once for, and now you have to buy them again. It's cute. It's just so cute.
I think they've done it for free because of what Battlefield did with their.
Everybody's doing it, so like they have to compete, so they have to do it too. It's great.
Yep.
It's kind of nice seeing for a change Battlefield not trying to outdo Call of Duty in that sense,
Mm.
because it was kind of dark at the time of Bad Company 2 and then even Battlefield 3. Like they were coming out. Battlefield now had campaigns, and it had like these Call of Duty-ish inspired, combat scenarios, and like you guys, that's not what Battlefield is. Anyone that's played even
Yeah.
1942 to Battlefield 2 know, it's not about the flair, about the teamwork.
It's funny because Modern Warfare has straight up a Battlefield mode. The big world is a big level, 32v32 vehicles, flag captures. This is Call of Duty. It's straight up a Battlefield. It's like Battlefield Light. It's fun. I enjoy it. But Battlefield 5 is way better still.
Oh,
in terms of
100
that
times
gameplay.
better. I saw when
Now,
my friend was playing it on one of the maps. I think the enemy was doing so well that 3 of them spawned some kind of gunships, and all they did was hover there and just annihilate everyone at the bottom. I thought, how are you
The
meant to
kill
play
streak,
this? This is
It
stupid.
gets chaotic. And there's only 2 maps in that game mode. It's like, wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Battlefield 5, does it have a Battle Royale mode? Or is
Yeah,
that just...
it does.
Okay.
And no one plays it.
Yeah,
It's
I,
dead.
Okay.
I refuse to select it.
I was just curious.
I've tried it, and it took like 20 minutes to queue up a server because no one was playing that game mode.
Conquest and Breakthrough are the only 2 I bother with, especially
Yeah,
Conquest.
I just do Conquest. I hate Breakthrough, that match.
I only like it for
Mode.
specific maps. But
Yeah, I could see that, but that mode just lasts so long. And,
it does. I stick to Conquest like 9 out of 10 though.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah, I was...
Don't mind me.
Yeah. Oh, so I couldn't recall if it had came out or not, because obviously I haven't even got to play it,
Yeah.
other than the title screen mostly. But I remember the E3 announcement, and the crowd wasn't exactly as enthusiastic as they wanted.
Well, it's because it's like, here's Battle Royale number 9354, It's like everybody's been doing it by that point.
Man, Battlefield gamers don't want that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but it's like everyone's been playing Fortnite for that, and it seemed like Battle Royale was the new gimmick, and then they get on there and they go on there and they go, all right, we finally introduced the mode you've all been asking for.
Yeah.
Like, don't lie. I mean, you're gonna put it in, do it, but don't hype it up like people were protesting outside the office. Where's the Battle Royale?
Yeah.
You ain't fooling nobody.
My mum asking me, when are you going to go get food? I was like, I told you, not now. Give me half hour or so. I can't do anything on this day of the week because this happens frequently, every time. So this is usually the day where we don't play games. We either work on the comic or just chat. And now my cat's getting up. Oh no, good. No, she's lying down. I'm good.
It's weird because it's usually the opposite for me. I'm like, Mom, what's for dinner?
Go down real shy.
The bigger question for me is like, because no one asked her to do dinner, but she does it. So it's like, well, she doesn't do it every night. She'll do it randomly. So it's like, are you gonna do dinner? Because if not, I will make my own dinner. But and then she's like, I don't know. And it's like, Mom, I need to know if you're doing dinner or not. Because if you are, I won't make dinner. I don't know means I wait, and then it's late, and you don't do dinner, and I'm hungry, and then I gotta cook a dinner, and it's gonna take even longer. It's like, ah.
Well, mine's the opposite. She'll cook every night, and then complain if I don't want to eat one of her foods. I was like, I don't eat this one. She goes, oh, I've made it in ages, and then there's the argument of, you made it last week or 3 days ago. No. I'll get takeout. Oh, all you do is get takeout. Like, well, stop making shit.
I make most of my dinners, so
I mean,
if
like,
it's bad, it's
I
my
mean, I'd
fault.
happily make my own dinner, but she always just one night, here's dinner. It's like,
I can't.
oh, well, I was gonna go out to eat. Okay.
If I start trying to cook something in there, she's over my shoulder instantly. You're doing this wrong. Why are you making such a mess? Move over. I'll do it. Like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh Lord.
So I don't get to cook, which is frustrating.
Like, Mommy, I love you, but you're just one word away from this frying pan making contact.
Cartoon scene.
Oh.
Pong. Head just
I mean,
vibrates.
honestly, though, if I lived where Austin is now, I'd probably be going to that Japanese restaurant at least once a week.
I went there Wednesday,
Oh,
and then before that, I went like a few weeks because it was my birthday. So I'm like, ooh, I'm going there.
happy
Yep.
birthday to you.
Yeah.
Do it. Happy
Man,
birthday
like, I've only had
to the sushi.
great food like twice in my life.
Go to Japan.
First time was at that Japanese restaurant.
It's always Japan, eh?
That
Always glorious food.
That was delicious. But hear me out. The second time was when I was on my honeymoon, and we were on the Disney cruise ship, and they
Disney
had a
cruise.
Southern Italian restaurant.
Oh,
That
so like jambalaya and stuff like that.
I couldn't pronounce to you
Southern
the things
Italian.
I ordered. Southern Italian. Like, the waiter comes up, he hands us the menu. He's like, "Have you guys ever had this kind of food before?" We go, "Well, no, we haven't." He's like, "Well, you're in for a real treat." And he's like, "And do not feel bad whatsoever
Yeah.
if you can't pronounce, some of the items. You just tell me what you want. I'll explain it to you. And if that sounds great, we'll order it." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Now, but before we get started, they make a chocolate cake, but it takes like an hour to prepare.
Do it.
If you order it now, it will be ready by the time you're done with your meal. Do you want to do that?" And I just go, "Heck yeah,
Yeah.
give us two." Like, anything
Extra
that takes that
cream.
long to make, yeah.
No kidding.
But I had some type of like lamb, I think it was, and it was soup, and like, oh my gosh, I just never
Yeah.
had flavors like that before.
Yeah.
Didn't know they existed. And I'm like, "Oh, this is so good." And then they bring out the chocolate cake. Oh my gosh! And then they bring out regular dessert. I was having a great time.
Yeah.
And after that, it's just been, Little Caesars pizza, Taco Bell.
Oh, Little
It's just not the
Caesars.
same. Yeah, you're just munching down on.
Like 5-hour pizza sit in the microwave.
It makes
They
me
keep it
sad.
on the
Hot and ready.
plate. 5
Yeah.
hours ago it was.
I
Yeah.
could have
Now
experienced.
it's just ready.
I was 2 months away from experiencing the Disney cruise and stuff before my job contract ended. 2 more months and I could have gone. Do you know how the depression is crazy. You have no idea.
Oh, I understand.
I mean, I know the feel. I missed out on Japan trip this year, so it sucks.
I
Yeah.
want to go somewhere.
I mean, just so everyone knows, the Disney cruise are expensive.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're more expensive than like a regular cruise. But you could go on Carnival, I think, and I'm not sure what like the other one's like Queens or something like that. But Carnival's the one that was breaking down in the ocean and giving everybody onion sandwiches.
Cool.
So I wasn't going to go on that one. But the trip is expensive, but you can see the money when you get on the ship.
And
Oh yeah.
Ariel is there as
Nothing
well.
about it is outdated. Yeah, it is beautiful woodwork, beautiful chandeliers. It's
Anything
luxury.
Disney, man, they're
Ariel.
freaking pricey.
Hmm.
But I mean, you see the reason why they're pricey. 'Cause, I mean, I went to
Yeah.
Disneyland last month, 2 months ago. First time in like 5 years. Pretty good stuff.
I don't know why
Yeah.
Disney doesn't have their own airline. Could you imagine all the stewardesses just Disney princesses? I'd die.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. Yeah.
I would just keep pressing the button until Ariel came to me. She'd be like, "Yes." I'd say, "Could you sing for me?" For the seventh time.
It was the
in a row.
Halloween event too, so they had like different Halloween
Ooh.
ride. The Haunted Mansion was like it was a Nightmare Before Christmas ride, which instead of the Haunted Mansion.
Huh.
But the ride stopped at one point, and we were right next to Oogie Boogie, the guy in the sack or whatever,
Oh yeah.
the sack guy, and he's like doing his animatronic mouth movement. I have it recorded too. It's hilarious. The guy, like some a little older than a teenager, comes over the line like, The ride will resume soon. Don't get out of your seats. And it looked like Oogie Boogie was saying it. It's freaking hilarious.
Like, you're a villain. You ain't supposed to be talking like that. Well, Con,
Huh?
you recently experienced some food outside of your nation when you went to Greece. You got any interesting stories to share?
I have quite a few. Ones that will make you cringe, others make you laugh, ones will shake
Well,
your
I got
head.
my. Ooh.
Um, I'll try and condense them because there's quite a lot of them. So I just picked the juiciest of the GC. I was only there
All
for
right.
2 weeks, so and the fact that all that happened within that period is I don't want to do it again. So I went there. The plane to Greece because I went on my own since my mum was there. Obviously, I went there to bring her back because she can't handle being on her own. And all the way up, the highlight for me on the plane was watching how often people went to the bathroom. So you think that sounds kind of weird, but I'm
Just
sitting
kind
there
of.
and I'd see like one person go up, like yeah, okay, and then two, and then you get the line which always happens on international,
Mm-hmm.
always, and there'd be like 3 or 4 people in line. After a while, one would leave, and in a cycle of 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I would see a similar person who'd already been go up again. This would repeat for about 7 hours. The line would never end, and it would always be the same 30, 40 people every time. I just sat there, I couldn't understand it. I was confused, never seen it in my life. That also meant that toilet was off limits to me because I didn't want to stand in line
Uh,
there. I'd have to go elsewhere. But the entire trip, constant line. I was shocked. But anyway, we finally land, and I get there. the The first thing that happened to me in Greece was the marble staircase. I think I mentioned it to Jed at one stage.
marble staircase. You did. You mentioned you had a story about a marble staircase,
Oh,
like it
so I
was
didn't tell
slippery
you.
or something.
Cool. Yeah, the marble staircase is very steep. Heads upwards to the second or first floor. The floor that's not on the ground. I don't like saying first. I like saying second, but it's not how it works. And I forgot my footwear. I brought shoes, but not inside kind of flip flops or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
comfortable stuff. So I bought a pair there. They were really good. Everywhere I moved on, it was great. I didn't know they had zero traction on marble, and
Oh, jeez.
our whole staircase and floor inside is made of polished marble, so that's even worse. A few times I went up and down, I'd slip a little, and I'd be like, "Yep, okay, that's cool. I've got this. My balance is supreme." Um, until that one time, going down, I slipped proper. Like, in the cartoons when the legs go up and the
Oh
body is still.
yeah.
That was me. I've never slipped on stairs before.
Oh.
Thankfully, my brain kicked in as I was in mid-flight, and I twisted my body so I would land on my side, not on my
Right.
back. Because if you
Right.
land there, forget it. Bad things are going to happen on that super
Oh
hard
yeah.
marble. And I purposely didn't plant my hand down because that's how you'll break a wrist. So I landed on the side of my hand and forearm purposely. So thankfully all that went fine. Nothing broke. Uh, but I had the biggest hand-sized bruise on the side of my hip and
Oh yeah.
along my side of my shin as well, and that was like a lump, and my wrist was sore. I didn't break anything, but I lay there for about a minute thinking, this could be what it feels like to be broken, but everything moved, and
Yeah.
I'm still a bit sore today. And that was back in July. No, August. So I think I'm extremely lucky I didn't break anything.
Yeah.
Uh, the second time I almost murdered myself was I got dragged to. And you know me, I don't do the whole group stuff, parties and gatherings. I tell people where to go if they try to bully me into those. But because I'm in Greece, I haven't seen all my relatives and stuff in forever. And one guy said, let me take you out, just a few friends. I'd like you to meet my wife and blah blah. I was like, you know what, sure, we'll go to dinner. I don't mind. I like food. I didn't realize it was an outdoor barbecue where he'd invited 30, 40 people who I didn't know. So I'm sitting there screaming on the inside, and I'm having to suffer conversation with people I don't know. The
Yeah.
most the most annoying conversations. There was one guy who thought he was like the greatest psychologist who ever lived, and he's like mid-20s, and he's telling me, he's like, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? I'm like, no, purposely single. He goes, I can tell you how to get a girl. I'm thinking, you didn't even hear what I just said, did you? And he just kept going on. He gave me these things to say, and I'm thinking, you are so full of shit. The only way these are going to work is if you're meeting sluts. And of course, he was picking all these girls up at clubs, so clearly he's going for the
Oh.
easiest of selections, who were probably half drunk anyway. It was the worst conversation. It went for about an hour. I was crying. I got my food, sat there, just tried to... Anyway, that ended. It was crazy. I should say, before he took me to the barbecue, he took me to his wife's mother's house, where he was picking up this potato salad thing. She lives up on the side of the mountains, because Kalimnos is a big mountainy type island. So we drive upwards, getting there, and we get to this gate halfway up the mountain. Opens the gate and we go on foot. As we're going up this slope towards the house, I see this little... it's an old school style church, very small. And they've got a thing there where if the head priest dies, he has the option of being buried next to the church. It's just a thing. I didn't know this, ever. And walking past the little church fence, beside it on the outside was a tombstone. And I was like, what is that? And he was telling me, this is the priest. I was like, oh. And, we're still walking. And then I turn. I'm looking down. And then suddenly smash. I was like, oh, what was that? And I see my cousin, he just turns around, he goes, oh my god, are you okay? I'm just looking at him thinking, huh. Touch my head. Alright, that feels okay. Turn. The biggest, thickest branch was moving. It was standing there beside me, which I just, ran into. And I pushed it. This thing didn't budge. It was solid as, so I just
Jeez.
bounced off that thing. I don't know how I didn't, at least bleed from that hit, because that was solid. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I only glanced, walking along. Holy crap, that hurt. So I almost killed myself twice. I'm going to skip all the other stuff and mention the worst part of the trip, which was the way back. My mum was a nightmare. Every time we're in the... when you're in the airport, sometimes your flight isn't listed yet. You have to wait until an hour before or something.
Right.
And she's like, when do we leave? I was like, she goes, what gate is it? I was like, I don't know, it's not listed yet. She goes, you have to ask someone. It's like, they won't know, it's not listed. This goes for like 3 hours, and I'm getting abused on, you have to ask people. If you don't ask, you won't know, you won't get anywhere. Why do you never ask? So this happened in Athens, this happened in Singapore. In Singapore, I ditched her in the end. I was like, you know what? You go over there and ask. I'm going to sit right here. I don't care what you do anymore, because I was done. And she'd come back as, they say we have to wait. It's like, what the fucking do? Anyway, ignore all that. It was the worst trip. But when we had to leave Kalimnos stupid early and get to Kos, which is another island where you take the plane to Athens to leave to Singapore and then to Australia. My mum had planned all this. Annoyingly, I allowed it to happen, even though I knew this was a stupid idea. So we get to Kos and we go to a hotel that was that my mum said an auntie of hers said is really good, because she always stays there when she's going back. And I'm thinking, hang on, I don't like the sound of this, because she's someone who doesn't like spending a lot of money. And true enough, we get there, it's a motel. It was a joke. I was raging straight away. We get inside and I realize it's one room, two beds. That was it, I lost it. I can't sleep in a room with another person. I've tried it. I can't do it. I'm not doing it anymore. So she knew I was furious. I was so I wasn't even speaking to her. I was just sitting on my bed, hands in my head, just sitting there for like 2-3 hours straight, not saying a word. The worst thing is we had to get up at 3 in the morning. So I got maybe half hour sleep, even though I was trying. The bathroom, complete mess. Because it's so small, the toilet was right up against the wall. So if you're right-handed, good luck. You have to kind of, when you're finished, turn sideways, hope you're kind of still good, and start cleaning. It was horrible.
Jeez.
But the worst part is we were sitting there and it was about 11 at night. My mum was trying to sleep because clearly she was getting zero conversation from me. And then I heard this sound. I'm thinking, what is that? And then I heard it again. And then it was louder. And then it was clear. Clear for everyone to hear. The walls are so thin. There was a lady moaning in the next room. They were having sex. It went on for about a half hour. And I was just crying. I was like, oh my god, my mom's here and they're having... I hate this place. I want to murder everyone.
Oh.
It was the most uncomfortable I've ever been. Ever. I'll never forget it. I want to. Believe me, I want to.
Go knock on the door. Housekeeping. Just ruin the moment.
Worst experience ever. But yeah, that was my Greece trip. Not much was enjoyable.
Yeah, that does sound pretty terrible. You do for family, and then sometimes family does you.
Oh, I was done. I was done.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
It didn't
Well,
help.
how's life with you, Austin? Oh, I'm sorry, God, I didn't mean to cut you
I
off.
was just gonna say that the house next door to us was built on the side of the motel, and it's like 10 yards from our window, and there was a guy on his balcony with a mattress, shirt off, just lying there, and he'd be talking to his family who's inside, so it was non-stop voice raised all day. And I just wanted to kill him.
He sounds delightful.
Some people
My,
don't realize.
I had to share a room with my mom, my dad, and my brother
Murder train.
in
would
one
be-
hotel. And my dad has a broken nostril, or he had his nose broken a billion times, but he can't breathe out of one nostril.
Mm.
He's got
Oh.
lung issues, so his snoring is literally cartoonish. Like
Oh.
it is that like, like that. So I'm like, he works at a factory, and I'm like, dude, you have to bring me earplugs, or I'm not sleeping. So he brought me earplugs, thankfully,
Did they work?
and yeah, it completely. They're the most effective earplugs I've ever used.
Wow.
Couldn't hear a thing,
You'll have to tell me what they are.
but it caused earwax to compact in my ear.
Yeah, that would happen.
So I have compact earwax issues a lot throughout my life, and I found that at one point I became completely deaf in one ear, so I had to go to the doctor, and they just filled up a big syringe thing of water, sprayed it in my ear, cleared it completely out.
Mhm.
So from then on, I'm like, oh, so whenever that happens, I just buy a surgical syringe, just spray water in it, and that always works.
Mm.
But I didn't bring one with me because I was thinking ahead. I'm like, I should bring one just in case because I'm wearing these earplugs and it might happen. I didn't bring one. So I get that ear impact crap. But I was able to sleep just fine, thankfully. But then the next day, I'm just like deaf in my ear. And it's driving me insane. Can't hear out of it.
It's only
So we're
one
going
ear.
to yeah. So we go to a restaurant to eat. And I'm sitting there just, I make my order, but I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. So I like get up, leave the restaurant. I'm like, just tell them I left, But I'm like, because they were taking a while anyway. So I figured I'm going to. I looked on my phone first of all for like a pharmacy. I'm like, these guys, they'll have a surgical syringe. So I freaking, and I'm like, oh, it's not. It's only a few blocks away. So I'm like, I'm out. I gotta go do this. So I leave, and I'm running for freaking like It on Google Maps, it looked very close. It wasn't that close. This is the first day at Disney because we got there, we slept, and then we're going to Disneyland. So I'm jogging like a mile, like 2 miles, like 3 miles. I don't even know how far it was. Finally get to the place. Oh, we don't have any
Mm.
of these. Oh, the pharmacy. No, they're like, oh, the pharmacy will open at 11, and they'll probably have free ones you can have. And I'm like, it's like 7 a.m., dude. I'm not waiting till 11. I got food waiting. There's a pharmacy across the street, so I go to that one, and they have this like little like feeding tube for toddlers, and I'm like, you know what? That'll do. I'll just have to do it.
Squirt, 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 squirt.
So I
Just
buy
for
that.
times.
So I'm like running around. I'm like a drug addict. It seems like because I'm like going around like you got syringes. I need syringes. Like going around town just asking for syringes. So I run all the way back to the hotel because I can't do it in a friggin' restaurant. I run back to the hotel desperately because I don't want people to wait on me. Like that's my main concern. And like I don't want them to all get their food, eat it, and be like, "Where's Austin?" So I'm freaking out about that fact. So I run back to the hotel. I'm like desperately opening my freaking syringe. It's like straight up like a drug addict. Gotta shoot up here. So it friggin' works. Thank the Lord. Clears my air out. Then I gotta run all the way back to the restaurant. And they hadn't even served my food yet.
Wow.
So the remaining 3-4 days of Disneyland, my legs were dead. We're like 8 to 10 hours walking at Disneyland, and my legs were already shot from all the running, and it was like, oh. My legs. Oh.
I got a question for you about Disneyland. They were doing some conversions for Guardian of the Galaxy out there, weren't they?
Yeah, that ride was in. It used to be what was it? Something of Terror, the Tower of Terror, and they converted that into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride instead. It's the same ride but different.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, is it the same ride and it's just reskinned?
I mean, it's just a thing that rises up, drops, but like there's a different experience with the screen in front of you going on. It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy guys fighting or whatever. They actually had a Halloween version of it, so we got to experience that. It's a fun ride. It's a really fun ride, man. It's like it's like the only ride that like terrifies me. Like it's just straight up. It drops faster than actual gravity, so you're falling faster than a free fall, and it's like terrifying, but it's fun.
No, the only thing that kind of scared me
We did
was...
the Tower of Terror at... Go ahead, Con.
Oh, there must be a delay now for you. No, the
Good
inside... oh god, what are those things that go round and round and up and down and like a train?
Hey, you described like 90%
Like a train?
of all rides.
A roller coaster?
Yes, roller coaster. I don't know why I had a brain block then.
What's that thing, guys? It goes like click, 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 click.
There's a train. This thing's the first time I couldn't remember roller coaster, so I'm allowed. I'm getting old. Send me donations. The indoor roller coaster, that was the worst thing for me because I didn't know it was a roller coaster, and then it was indoors and all dark, and just you're thinking,
Oh
God,
yeah. Those are rough because it's dark. You can't prepare for
No.
the turns, and you're just getting whiplashed around.
I was just scared I might smash my head against something because you
There-
can't see.
There's been a ride at Disneyland for like 50 years, Space Mountain, right?
Space Mountain.
Everybody knows that, right?
Hmm.
It's not Space Mountain anymore. It's a Star Wars ride.
Yeah, I heard they rebranded it.
But it was the coolest freaking ride I've ever been on.
Mm.
It was amazing.
I don't
Like you're going around and it's like we're in TIE fighters, right? And it's just like we're in a freaking TIE fighter fight and it's like amazing. Like there's at one point where like this like life-sized real oh my gosh, now I don't remember the word.
TIE Fighter?
No, not TIE fighter, the
X-Wing.
enemy one. The enemy one.
Wait,
The ones that go those things. What are they called?
They're all right. So they're a fighter, but they're not TIE fighters.
Are
Is-
those ones called TIE fighters? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay.
They're
Good
they got the
lord.
big plates on the
Like
side.
Right. The Imperial ones.
Mm,
Yes.
Yes, those are TIE
Thank
fighters.
you. Gosh, dang it, brain. See, now it's my turn. But anyway, there's like a full-size, life-size one that just goes over your head, and it looks like it's gonna hit you. Just flies over your head.
Wow.
Freaking amazing. I
Yeah,
went on
sign
it.
me
I went
up.
on it twice, man, because it was so freaking awesome.
I want to see the whole Star Wars setup as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Star Wars flag.
I'm gonna cry.
Dude, it was my dream. Like I got a picture of myself by the life-sized Millennium Falcon.
Mm.
Like I was obsessed with it, man. I kept looking at all the under stuff. It's like it's got like laser damage, like it looks so detailed. And then the ride, the Star Wars ride, you go in and you're literally in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
Hmm.
It's got the chair and the little chess thing, they playing that little claymation chess. It's got all that. It was so freaking awesome. And the ride is like it's like an interactive ride. You have a gunner, a pilot, and a engineer, and you literally it's a video game straight up. So I was the gunner, and I was shooting. I literally had to press the button to shoot the TIE fighters down at the right time. The pilot actually had to fly, and it was like crazy cool. And you
So
had a
not
score
fair.
at the end and everything.
I want to do it. My aim is still just to see the teacups. That's still where I am.
The teacups, yeah.
They don't
I-
have teacups in
I
Australia.
really, really wanted to build a lightsaber, but it was like $300. So I was like, ooh.
They're a bit pricey, but it'd be cool to have one.
It's an experience. Like you go in and you're like, it's crazy. I was like, where do you? Because it's not even advertised anywhere. I had to
Oh.
ask. I'm like, so where do you
Interesting.
build the lightsabers? And they're like, shh. They're like, you mean the what would she say? What would she say? She's like, you mean the magic sticks? Because it's like forbidden word. You don't want to talk about it. So
What?
it's like some like illegal shop that you make lightsabers in.
Are they in
lightsabers
character?
are, lightsabers are only for Jedi. So it's like.
Yeah.
So you actually have to ask for it to find out where it is,
Where's the
and then you
magic
go in
sticks?
and it's like this actual experience of they're like telling you how to build it, and you pick your parts, and then you like activate it and pull it out, and it's like there's a YouTube video of it. It's freaking amazing.
Mm,
Wish I would have done it, but $300. Ouch.
Yeah, the Disney cast, or they call them cast members. They're actually just employees. They do a
Right,
good
right.
job staying
They
in character.
do. They do
They
such
do
a
it
good
really
job.
good.
There's like a life-size Chewie walking around, and it was so good. Straight up Chewbacca, man, and he was huge. Like he's on stilts, in the suit, so he was like, that tall. And he's making all the actual Chewbacca sounds, and it was so cool.
I hope they make him a Disney princess at some stage.
Braid his hair.
I think he deserves it.
And the stormtroopers walking around, and they're like, actually, they got that little radio sound where they talk. Like, what are you doing here?
Nice.
Go away. It's like so freaking awesome. I loved it. Star Wars Plays was so good.
You can't buy helmets with that authentic sound.
Yeah, I know. That would be
It's
so
not
cool.
fair. One day.
What would you wear it for, Con?
I don't know, I wouldn't. But I'd want one.
He just wants one.
I don't want many things. I can't afford anything, so that's when you actually want more stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like
exactly.
$5,000 in debt. So
Holy crap.
I can't do anything.
Get in line.
Get in line. Yes,
Got
but you
you
have an
beat.
income, so you're slightly above me.
I got
in
a
the sad.
family, and I live in America. One kid get a sore throat, hospital visit.
I told
owe
you.
$6,000.
That's it. Yeah, you're done.
I did say please don't get married, and you just said, you know what? I don't listen to you, and then 2 babies. I was like, dude.
You never once said,
Slow down.
please don't get married. You said, please let me inspect her before I send her over.
Trying to help you.
Yeah.
Why would
It's
you let
looking
me
like
help you?
a scene from The Mask, tongue hanging out, just to get a reaction out of me. It worked!
It worked. Your kids are not yours, by the way.
Oh no! I thought they were dumb.
Look like me for some reason.
Oi! Oi!
Oi, oi.
This little oi's running around. Oi! Oi! I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right here.
It's in the DNA.
Oh. Now my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling too much. Uh,
Well, that smiling thing that you mentioned just reminded me of because I've been watching the animated Batman cartoon series.
oh yeah, the Blu-ray release.
Since I never got to watch it properly when it was airing back in the day, because I was
Right.
never home and doing teenage stuff and forgetting it was on half the time. So my friend bought the Blu-rays, and I was like, I've always been interested in watching that. I only ever saw like 2 episodes or so. I know I saw the first one where Harley first came in, because back then,
Right.
I was a fan of the character back then. Not much now, because they've completely changed her. She's great in that one. Amazing. You realize all the episodes with Harley, Paul Dini writes them. It's like only he's allowed to write them because he created her and he knows how
Oh
to do
yeah.
it. I'm pretty sure
I didn't know that. That's cool.
if he was dead, he'd be rolling in his grave at the way she's being written now. I don't care what he says.
All in the stupid new movies, yeah.
And the way she's in the new cartoon series that's coming, which I'm not gonna waste my time with. I don't know. Some people like her now, and some people argue with me saying she's still the same. And I say she's not, and I'm not getting into it with you. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I'm really glad that they kept the same voice actress for the video games. Really cool.
It's
Harley
Tara
Quinn.
Strong. She's
Tara Strong,
awesome.
yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
She used to get so much shit in the day back in the 90s. Anyone who dubbed over anime back then was heckled to hell because it was all subtitled or nothing, and she was really good. I don't think she wasn't where her level back then compared to what she's now, where she's just god status to me.
Right.
Because we're watching Teen Titans Go as well, so I get her with Raven, and she's awesome.
Right.
But yeah, the Batman series is unreal. I couldn't believe it when I first started.
Can you believe that? Yeah, that it actually aired for kids, and it was so amazing.
It was written for everyone, and not for
right
and kids. The first few episodes actually put me off the show. They were trash. I didn't like them at all, and we got back into watching them about 6 months later because my friend would hassle me. He goes, I bought these Blu-rays, and now you don't want to watch them. I was like, those episodes were rubbish. You know this. Is that how the whole series is? Are people just saying it was good when it really wasn't? But then we started watching just the good stuff, like the two-parters, and they were unreal. And the other thing, I think it was just those episodes, because I've hardly come across any that were as trash as those, and we've sat through like 60 of them so far. They were really bad. I don't know. They weren't crap, but there was one episode where it was 3 kids talking about how each one first saw...
the freaking Penguin one.
I didn't like Penguin much. I actually don't like him at all. He doesn't go rah, rah, rah,
I'm
rah,
not
rah.
a fan of Penguin either. Yeah,
I like the DeVito Penguin. I want that one as default
But
Penguin.
yeah, that one with the kids. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a nice idea, but if I'm watching a Batman thing, I don't want that. I want Batman. He's the main character. Throw him in.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. One thing with Poison Ivy, in some episodes she's amazing, but then there's a few specifically written where she comes across as like super uber feminist type talking. I'm like, that's not what I expect to hear, and it's coming out of nowhere, and it jars me.
Yeah, different writers.
It was horrible. When she's written normally, she's great, but then there's this weird stuff. But God, what was I saying? I know I brought this up for a reason.
Good episodes.
Right. It was, not only are they awesome, I didn't really experience Kevin Conroy properly until the Batman games,
Right.
and I didn't like him in those. Half the time...
I don't... It feels kind of off in the games, I'll tell you that.
He sounds like he's phoning it in, and it's like, not bored, but I just don't like it. Because when I played the Origin one, that people don't seem to like, which I think is the best one, who's the one that voices him? Is it Troy Baker, or is it the other guy?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I get them both confused.
It's not Conroy, but I don't remember who it is.
He was awesome as Batman. I'm like, that's how he should be. And now I'm watching the animated series, and he's glorious as Wayne and Batman. He's got like emotion and everything going for it. So either he's a bit tired, or the voice director is really shit. So
It could be the voice director, but it feels like the visual art doesn't fit the voice. It's so
no,
weird to me.
it's not right. But yeah, he's so good in the animated series.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else doing him now after hearing that. So what I've heard from everyone else, I now actually understand and completely agree with about him being the
Well,
best.
it's like the Joker. You know, Mark Hamill will always be the Joker's voice to me.
No one
Yeah,
can beat
same.
Hamill. Every time he
Yeah.
talks in that thing, I'm laughing.
Like I almost want to take his Star Wars scene. Oh, you know the Star Wars scenes when he's talking, just do color or just do the Joker talking instead of using
Right.
those lines. And see what scenarios you can play out with those.
He's
Because
so
I mean,
good.
when I hear it, if I close my eyes, that's what I'm seeing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's good.
He makes me just lose it. Just the way he says certain things, and he's got more than one kind of laugh, and it fits so well.
Hey, when you got skills, and he did.
He's awesome. I love him. And
I
Harley's
wonder
voice
if he ever
actress.
went down to the new. Oh yeah, Harley was good too.
She every time she talks, I'm just cracking up.
Well, I think what's important about, like, let's say Harley's Harley's voice is you can tell that the person is talking in almost a natural voice,
Mm,
but with just a lot of character behind it. Where, like with some of the newer animated movies, you can tell that the voice actress is trying to get a really high little girl voice
mm.
Right.
to portray Harley, and it's so phoned in. I'd really rather it just be a more natural voice with a lot of energy behind it than a fake one that's just all energy.
Tara does her really well.
Yeah.
Do good? She do good?
She does her excellent. I was like, she's awesome. And then they go and put Kelly. I can't pronounce her name. Coco, Calcow. I don't know how it's pronounced. I like
Kelly
her.
Coco. That's what we're calling her now.
I like her. I don't like her as Harley. She's like hyperactive, and the accent's gone, and it's more Deadpool for some stupid reason. She's not. She was never like that.
Yeah.
There's a episode that I recently watched where she teams up with Batman, just so she can get out of Arkham, and she's an absolute mess with him. And it made me remember there was a more recent animated movie or something where she teams up with him, and I thought it was horrible and trash. It was like not how I would expect her to be with Batman, but in this one she was great. And of course, Paul Dini wrote it, so it was perfect. And I don't
Oh yeah.
understand why people liked her in this recent one. It made I hated it completely.
There's been a lot of those animated movies coming out. Like quite a few.
Yeah, like I don't keep up with them, so every time I'll go to like a Walmart or something, you'll see them on the new release, and I double take like, oh crap, there's another one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have to go check that one out.
I'd never seen the older animated movies either. I remember my friend, he trashed them because back then we were watching the Keaton ones, and then these animated ones came out, and like, we don't want animated ones. So people were unfairly harsh.
Right.
And I watched that Mr. Freeze movie. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
It
That
is
was a
so
good one.
good.
I haven't seen that one.
And the what was it called? I'm wrong. Like Phantom Mask or whatever.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of
Yeah.
yeah, that was really
That
good
one's
too.
really good. I love
But
that one.
yeah, I think the Mr. Freeze one was probably the best one so far. I haven't seen. There's 3 of them, I think, or is there only 2?
I think there's only 2 from that style.
Hmm.
The most recent one I watched was I really liked it. I don't remember what it was called, but it's like way in the future and Batman's super old.
There's Batman Beyond.
Are you talking
No,
TV show?
not Beyond, not Beyond. It was a movie, and it's like Batman's like super old, and like he comes back for some reason or another, and Joker is just in an insane asylum, just like a vegetable, like just sitting there. But once the TV comes on and it shows that Batman's there, he comes to his senses, and he like just starts killing people like crazy. And at the end of the movie, Batman's like, I can't believe I never killed you.
I don't know if I've
I
seen
can dig it.
but I know I've seen the trailer for it.
It's really violent. It's just so good, like how it goes. I like it.
Now, I
Gritty.
think the worst Batman animated movie I seen recently was like Batman Gaslight or something.
What?
It's like a
Oh,
steampunk
I didn't like that
version.
one.
Yeah, it's supposed to take place like in the early 1900s,
Hmm.
Huh? I
and
don't think I've heard of that one.
Harley's there,
yeah,
but she's an old
animation isn't
woman.
good. The effects are not good. The story sucks.
They're all like that. These new ones. They're all like that. Trash.
Yeah, I don't mind if you need to have computers do some of your scenery,
Yeah.
as long as you can try to get it to match the style.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's always
Yeah,
an eyesore. Like it sticks out. It
yeah,
doesn't blend with it. It's just like
it really does. When you just got a CGI town, and you can always tell it's a town because like the textures are real clean.
yeah.
Like they don't bother to make crud or dirt on any of the walls and stuff. It's all real clean and it's empty. It's very empty. There's no populace anywhere
Always
except for what
empty.
they draw in. And of course, if they're doing that, they're cutting money. They're cutting budget. So and then you just see it. You're like, oh, it looks so bad. And the whole movie was like that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't enjoy it.
No.
Shame on you, WB. You could have done better.
Shame. Shame.
They've just been pumping so many out. It's like the funding for them probably are lower than others, so it's the quality shows and stuff like that.
Probably right.
Speaking of, my friend tried
But
to lure me to watch the new Terminator movie, and I kept refusing. It's like,
I went to that. Yeah, Sunday. I went to that Sunday.
I went on a Sunday.
he's got free tickets too, and I still said no.
I liked it. It's nothing special at all. It's
Mm.
just got cool action scenes. Like to me, Terminator movies now are just like cool action scenes. Like I don't, the stories are always stupid.
Yeah.
It's like cool.
They're like Transformers.
It's just like cool explosions and stuff. Like that's why I go. But it's like this one was like, you guys seen The Force Awakens, right? And it's pretty much like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a retelling of A New Hope.
Mm.
Pretty much.
Right.
The Force Awakens is like almost beat by beat A New Hope with new characters and different enemies, etc. That's kind of how the new Terminator is.
It's how
It's
it
like-
looked.
It's like the same thing.
So I
Terminator
don't
from
wanna-
past comes to kill some person that's important in the future. We gotta protect him. There's like car chases and all this. Like it's like, man, this is like, I remember when this happened in Terminator 2. It's like,
And in Terminator 3.
yeah, 3 did the same thing too.
It's like they keep doing the same thing, and that's why I didn't want to watch it. I said, no, give me something new. I don't want this trash.
Man, if you want to see a movie with something new, you're not gonna see a movie.
Watch
No one
Alita.
knows how to do new stuff.
Alita is awesome.
Well,
Alita's amazing. I love that movie.
I love it. I didn't think I'd like it, and friend sort of is like, let's go. I was like, I've heard it's not good, because let's go. And, I'm a fan of the old anime movie. Never actually got around to reading the manga. I have now, but, I mean, at that stage. So I walked in, and he goes, you're going to hate it, aren't you? He has this perception that if I don't want to like something, I won't, despite the fact that I've got heaps of examples where that's completely not true. So I walked in, sat down, was like, okay, let's see what they're going to offer us. Everything usually gets butchered that's made from, Japan to America.
Right.
And, came out of the thing thinking it was glorious. Bought the Blu-ray, watched it I think 4 times.
Yeah, I really like it.
It is
Another
awesome.
movie I really liked that was like new, quote unquote. It's a horror movie called Hereditary.
That was really good.
I'm getting to the point where I just don't like going to movies either. It's like my brother like, you want to go see this? I'm like, not really. You want to go see this? Not really. It's mostly because movies are like 3 freaking hours long now, and it's like I don't want to sit for 3 hours to watch this crap.
I don't mind.
I can't even sit for 3 minutes to watch a TV show anymore. It's like, ugh.
I'm good with sitting through it if it's good. I'm not good with sitting through it in a cinema if there's lots of people. So I try to go like
Yeah.
3 weeks later when there'll be like
Yeah.
5 and hope these aren't stupid people that talk. I hate it. I'd have no problem.
The worst issue I'm having with theaters lately is people are always checking their freaking phones.
Mm-hmm.
I literally yelled at a dude at one of the movies I went to recently. I just yelled across the theater, "Boy, that's a bright phone you have down there!" He didn't stop. He kept doing it. I was about to go. I was legit seconds away from going up to him, turning my flashlight on my phone on, and just shoving it in his face. That's what I was going to do. But my brother got up first. I'm like, oh, what's he gonna do? But he just went to management, and they came in and told him to stop. I'm like, oh, I guess that works too.
Usually, they should have seen
well,
it
if you're
first.
gonna do diplomacy, sure.
Then another theater, the new Spider-Man movie. Dude
Oh.
next to me just keeps
Mhm.
checking his phone. Keeps checking his phone. I lean over to him and I go, "Could you please turn your phone off, please?" And he did.
Mm.
But when the credits started rolling, everybody's standing up and leaving, right?
Mm.
I turned my phone on to check something like Twitter real quick or whatever. He leans over to me and goes, "Ahem." And I just friggin' let off on him. I'm like, shut the hell up. I'm like, this is the credits, dude. Everybody's leaving. This isn't during the movie. And he's like, I don't remember. He's like, shut up, asshole, or something like that. And I'm like, and I just hold my phone up really high and I turn it on and I'm like, look at me. I'm so important. I'm looking at my phone. I only matter. I'm the only person that matters in this theater. And I'm just screaming it.
People are garbage.
It's an addiction too. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. They have to you're not important enough that if you don't answer back right away, and if you're going to have a conversation, you don't need to be in the movies.
Exactly.
It's you go to a theme park and they tell you put your phones away. Your phones will get lost on this ride, etc. And then if you're on that roller coaster, you look at the ground and they're littered with phones that people who thought they were just the rule didn't apply to them.
This
The
dude,
warning
though,
wasn't important. Yeah.
the one I yelled at, he was in a freaking scooter or whatever for fat people or whatever the frig disabled people.
Mm.
He had his phone on a kickstand, right? Sitting up on. So it's just facing he's in the front row. His phone's on a kickstand, turned on, just like a friggin' mini TV, just blaring at the whole audience, just browsing around on his phone. Just sitting there browsing around on his phone. I cannot believe you. How can you be that stupid? I just can't. I just can't.
Stupid, but also you paid money to be there.
Exactly.
Did you pay money to be on your phone? You can do that for free in the car.
Yeah. And they're only checking Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure. They got to see their new memes
Gotta
and
see it.
click for prayers.
Who's liked
Prayers
my
and
post?
thoughts.
I'm sitting in the theater. Hashtag.
Yeah.
Watching movie.
Oh my god.
Movie's
so
20
good.
minutes in. Hashtag. Great
Hashtag.
time.
Hashtag.
Like, why don't you just watch the movie then? Hashtag. Gee. Just gee.
I'm gonna have to vanish. My mom's coming like 3 times and I almost went
Right.
off at her just then.
I'm gonna go to bed here in a minute anyway, so we're good.
Alright, we'll wrap it up.
Alrighty, did good.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll check your PCs and hopefully we'll be playing Battlefield soon.
Dude, I am just distraught.
Hmm.
I'll pull it out and I'll try the different PCI slot before I go disassemble the other computer.
Yeah.
I say do that now anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, all you're doing
But I mean,
is
even if
pulling
it
the
works
card
in the
out.
other one, well, I mean, I guess they're both. No,
No,
okay,
no, I mean take
I'm
the
fine.
card out of the old one and put the old card into your current PC.
Well, I mean, I'm going to, but I was going to go ahead and put it in the other PCI slot first, just to see if it made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Yep.
fiddle a few times with the 1070 just to see if it does anything.
Yeah.
I'll have to get it out for the serial number anyway.
Although
See if it's even.
I do hear the 1070 does like to break.
Yeah, mine's been amazing, so I don't know. I don't know.
Friend replaced it twice.
It's just me luck.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for chatting. Got to do it again soon.
Yeah.
And play games.
Hey, for soon.
And
Yeah,
thanks for
since-
listening, listeners. Thanks for listening in the podcast. Appreciate you guys.
We thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're my favorite people.
Alright, I'm gonna get going. I say goodbye
Alright.
to all of you.
Alrighty. See you guys
Goodbye,
later.
sir.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye bye.